Hi, Mile High Magicians. Sorry I couldn't be with you tonight. Schedule things have made that impossible tonight. But I did want to share a little bit about talking lighting with you. I won't take up too much of your time. I've got just a few points here. The first I want to talk about is color of lighting. And I apologize if other people are covering this as well. Obviously, I'm not there to stop myself from repeating something that someone has already said. But general, when you're talking about lighting and colors of lighting, most of the time we want white light on stage. The problem is, in most theater places, you don't just get white light. Putting just a bare bulb in a lighting fixture and putting that out there is too harsh of a light. It's uncontrollable. It's too either yellow or too blue or whatever the temperature of the lamp is inside. It doesn't get you what you want most of the time. So in most cases, a theater will use different colored gels. Gels are those plastic sheets that go in front of the light fixture to change the color of lighting. And they'll use a mixture of, usually there's 3 different colors that make a good white light, and that is blue, amber, and pink. And you wouldn't think about it, but when you go up on a stage, you'll see those different colors coming from different directions and making a nice, even white color for you. And when you have those 3 different sources, those 3 different colors, the lighting controller is able to change the blue or change the pink a little bit, fade it up and down, and dial in the perfect white color of light for a certain scene. And when you're on stage for your act or for your part of the show, that is a scene. And it all depends on what you're wearing, the props, your skin tone, what your skin tone looks like with makeup on it, that makes the right color white. And you can generally tell the lighting designer, oh, I want a cool wash or a warm wash. And what that means, wash just means cover the stage, all the performing area, evenly with light. Okay, so there's no, you can either be downstage area, you could have it focused on just where you're standing if you're doing a standing and talking moment, and you could have the rest of the stage dark. But if you're doing a sort of an apparatus act where you're moving back and forth from prop to prop, you probably want a general stage wash where every inch of the stage that the lights can reach is lit the same color evenness. And that makes things simple if you need to go from one side to the other and you don't have a spotlight following you, that you can easily go from one side to the other and be all lit there. When we talk about cool and warm colors, what we're talking about is Kelvin temperature. Kelvin is the absolute standard SI unit of temperature, and you've probably seen this on modern LED lamps when we talk about see something with a 4K color temperature or a 3500 K lamp. Those are all about its temperature in Kelvin, and it's sort of backwards thinking on it. The higher the number, the cooler the light. So something that's like a 4000 starts getting to the blue tinge of light. Something that's down the 3000 range is sort of the orangish, yellowish, more what you'd expect in like a home sitting, almost like candlelight, that color. So when you're talking with a lighting designer or thinking of it for yourself, and you're thinking about color, temperature, those are things you can talk. Whatever your character and whatever the mood of your piece, either you want it really sharp and bright white, or you want sort of a more homey feeling with a warm color temperature. A couple other things when you're talking about colors, you can make the stage wash in red or blue or any color you want. A couple things to keep in mind if you're going for a green wash on stage, where you want just green light coming on stage. Green does very strange things to human skin tones. It makes you look very pallid and ill, frankly. It makes you look like you have a disease of some sort. For the right kind of trick, say a haunted table or a seance kind of trick, a ghost trick, that might be something that you want. But if you're wanting to bring other people up on stage, if you want to bring up a very beautiful person up on stage and then put them under this light that makes them look terrible, it's almost a rude thing to do. So be careful of that. Red washes on stage make anything really hard to read. Anything that's text, like if you had someone up trying to do a book test, or even if you had a prediction where you had black Sharpie written on a white piece of paper, Red light makes that really hard to read. It's hard for the human eye to see that. The other thing to be careful of is blue washes. Blue washes on stage, just because of the color in it, tend to make black colors not look black. That if you do a wash of blue on stage or even a purple, all of a sudden you'll discover that the black jacket, black pants, black shoes, black socks, black props, black art backdrop, in fact, that you all thought were the same color black in your home are no longer the same color black. And so that can be problematic, especially if you're doing a black art effect on that. So be careful on colors of washes if you want to go that far. Doesn't mean you can't do it. This means you need to be thinking about what your props, costumes, and what you look like on stage. The other thing I want to talk about is control of lights. Now, if you are bringing your own small unit there, you may have very little control, especially during the show. Unless you've got a pre-programmed, setup on your phone, you can just go next scene, next scene, next scene. And that's actually something that's important to think about when you're putting a show together. When you've got your magic show together, every trick, every effect is really a scene. In a show, in a theatrical play or musical, there's Act 1 and Act 2, and each different section in there is a scene. Act 1, Scene 1, Act 1, Scene 2, so on and so forth. You can start to think of the same way in your magic show and your presentation of what are the next scenes. In some presentations, say a kid's birthday party, it all might be the same scene. But all the scenes might be the same light look. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. It's nice, bright, colorful, happy lighting. That's great. If you're doing a more theatrical show where you've got different beats, different moods you're trying to set along the way, some of those scenes you might want the lights dimmed a little bit. You might want to change it, like we said, that color wash temperature. You might want to go less light. You might want to just spotlight only. There's plenty of acts, manipulation acts especially, that look great if you were standing in one place and doing your manipulation with cards, balls, thimbles, even silks, or just having that light that exists in a 10-foot ring around you is perfect. It eliminates distractions and focuses every audience's eyes right to you, right the center of attention. Even on a huge stage, this is where the action is. So that's something you can think about with control in different scenes. Something important, especially if you're working in a theater, if you ever want the house lights up, whether you're doing an effect where you need to get the audience's involvement, whether you're bringing someone up on stage where you want to bring those house lights up to let them be able to see where they're walking, or you want to bring them up so you can actually see people to select the right volunteer for your trick, or say you're doing a tossed out deck, or where you're tossing a ball into the audience to select randomly. You want those house lights up, not only so they can see to catch the thing, but especially if they miss and drop it, that they're not fumbling around in the dark by their feet trying to find the deck of cards, something like that. This is a pet peeve of mine with magicians and performers asking for the house lights to be up. It's a simple thing to do most of the time for the lighting technician to turn those lights on. Every once in a while you'll be in a theater where that is not the case, where it's a different set of switch, it's a different control. And your lighting control guy or gal may have other things that they're trying to do at the same time. Very often they're the lights and sound person, and they're running the curtain, and they're trying to do whatever else. And so if you've got an effect or a part of the show where you're going to want the house lights up and you know it, let them know ahead of that. Because very often, if it's a modern theater, those house lights will be controlled by the same board, the lighting board, that all the other lights are controlled by. And they can actually program, at this moment, magician, wants the house lights up to half, and so they program that in there, and so all they have to do when you as the magician say, "May I have the house lights, please?" is just say next. A big pet peeve of mine is when a magician's on stage and out of nowhere says, "Could I have the house lights up, please?" And the operator at the back is fumbling trying to figure that out because they just got surprised. And the magician going, "Please, house lights, please. Thank you, finally, thank you." that looks bad on you as the performer. It looks bad on the lighting operator, and we want to make sure we're doing as much respect as we possibly can to both performers there. So yeah, asking for the house lights up well beforehand is a good move to have. The last thing I want to talk about is run sheets. This will separate the wheat from the chaff when it comes to professional magicians. Even if you're doing a one-off little act in a open mic, if there's someone controlling part of the show, whether that's lights or sound or MC, having a run sheet for the operators, for the stage managers, for anyone that's going to be helping you on stage is a huge helper. And actually, I'm going to send this out to you. This is a sample run sheet that I came up with. And what this does is allow for each, again, scene in your show, for anyone who's not familiar with your show, which is most people, to know all they need to know to help you out. There's a place for which act it's in, which scene it's in, the running time, also very important to let people know about that. Personnel, now this is not as crucial if it's a one-man show, it's usually just you all the time. If there's a curtain, whether that open or closed, when it opens, when it closes, any notes for lighting, any notes for sound, any notes for prop, and anything for set change responsibility. And I've got an example here. This is from Mitch Harwood's Misto's Really Big Magic Show. And this is this is in the first act. This is scene 3. This is Dr. Bones. And I picked this one because it's got a lot of different elements to it. And here there's just an explanation of what the trick is, what the effect is. That way, if there's someone who's never seen your show before helping you out with the lights or sound, this gives them some idea of what it is. And you'll have time to sit down with them, hopefully, and go through these details. But anything they can have beforehand to go through these things is absolutely crucial. You can see the running time here. This is a piece cued to music, so we know the exact running time of it. The curtain, the open grand, that's the main curtain in front. It's open at the scene before. I'm trying to remember. I think it's closed at the scene before, and we open it with the music. The personnel, this one is Mitch and Quill, they're both a part of it, just so the operators know that there's 2 people on stage. That's important for microphones and some other effects there. The lighting, there's a general stage wash. We have that there. The lights to chase during the dance portion. Chase means if it's possible, lots of theaters have moving lights where the actual body of the light can swivel around 360 degrees, and so the lights can move around. They can actually chase around the stage. If they don't have that, what we like them to do is chase in sequence. You've seen theater marquees where it looks like the lights are blinking and it looks like it's following a path. To do the same thing with whatever lights are on stage where they blink, 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 blink. Most modern lighting control boards have that as a setting. So it shouldn't have to be done manually by any means. That would be crazy to try to do that manually. And this is BO is blackout. On the exit, when they leave stage, as they walk out, we turn off the lights, and in fact we close the curtain as well on that. I'm not going to cover music, better capable hands or handling music for you tonight, but this is a section where we have that. We have the name of the song, whatever's playing. We have cue when we started. This is the cue line. Mitch says we call it Dr. Bones. That's when they hit play, and the music level is medium. And then there's a dance portion. We can raise that music up while we're doing the lights because no one's talking at that point. The music wants to be below the talking until there's no talking anymore, and we can bring it up. And music fades during the walkout. It's perfectly timed and choreographed to end right there. We have this section for the props, what we have on stage, just so this helps everyone. This helps me as the stage manager knowing which props are supposed to be out there, which props aren't supposed to be out there. Gives the lighting people an idea, okay, I need to light those right now. And then afterwards, the set change responsibility. This is where most of my business is, to remember what I have to do. And then the next act is the bill and doll. That's the next thing that comes up. So we have 20 or so of these that we print out. This is one sheet, one full-size sheet of paper per trick, per scene. that I'm looking at, the lighting guy is looking at, the sound guy is looking at. We're all looking at the same thing, so we're all in the same expectations. And we're going to send out the blank one of those. I fully encourage you to make copies of that. It's in Excel, fill it out there. Make changes to it. You'll find this is a great tool when you're going through the show. Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. Keep adding to it. Make these are all living documents. We keep adding to them and changing them all the time. But doing something like this and handing off a sheet like that to a lighting operator, sound operator, will make them so happy with you. When you're doing a musical or a play, they get the script of everything. It's unlikely that you have a script of your magic show to give to a lighting person. This sort of is in between that. Okay, this gives them something with which to work. And I encourage you to figure out the different scenes of your magic show. Start thinking about what might be the good lighting, what might be the appropriate lighting for that, and put it on paper so you have it written down and you can hand that over to anyone. But yeah, thank you very much for letting me speak to you through video here. Have a great night here, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.